Now then, Ross, next up we have a Tamnavulin, which is a distillery which has kind of been on my radar recently.
Yeah.
You see it, you know, every supermarket in the UK at least. This is a much older bottling, bottled by Moon Import, who are sort of Italian independent bottlers, and at one stage were the official importer as well for Tamnavulin Distillery from this point. Tamnavulin, your experience with the distillery?
Honestly,
yourself, is it kind of mixed, or
quite similar to you. I've tried some of their more recent releases that are all kind of very cask-led, but also very affordable. The distillery closed in the 90s and reopened in 2007. So we've not really seen much in modern day from in terms of age statements or any kind of exciting releases from them. But they must be getting quite a lot of success in supermarkets. I think it's very reasonably priced.
Very cheap.
And I think the idea of it being like the most affordable red wine cask on the market, or big sherry influence on the market, I think really caps a lot of casual whiskey drinkers who are probably going, yeah, I'll give that a go.
Yeah.
And it's a modern distillery anyway. It's founded in the 60s.
Yeah, for many years it must have just been blending fodder.
Oh, it must have been.
And it's clearly been a decision by obviously White Mackay, current owners, let's try and push this as
a malt whiskey,
a single malt brand.
Yeah.
But yeah, back when this was bottled around 1990, you know, nobody knew what Tamnavulin was at all. As I say, bottled for Moon Imports and imported to Italy. We're expecting this to be quite sort of sweet and malty and soft. It's been matured for 15 years. And bottled at 45%.
I think it does fit into a kind of classic Speyside character, despite it not really being a very well-known brand. So that's probably why it's been so popular for new whiskey drinkers nowadays, and probably why it was quite a popular option to send over to Italy, for example, in the 90s, where Glen Grant was king and people were going for a lighter style of whiskey. But yeah, it's not a brand that even I never really knew much about Tamnavulin.
No, it's not one people really talk about.
No.
Like, people are drawn to distilleries with big character, big flavours.
And I think
Tamnavulin is not.
I think White and Mackay as well, they're so well known for Dalmore and Jura, and even Fettercairn now.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to forget about Tamnavulin.
A bit like the run to the White Mackay litter,
unfortunately, it is. Everything else has taken off with loads of success in the last kind of 10 years. Apart from these guys who are kind of left a little bit behind, so it'll be interesting to see what the liquid's like, but I'm expecting it to be a fairly nondescript Speyside. I
think you might be right. We'll crack this open and see how we get on. I think, to be stable mates with Fettercairn, and for that to be given priority must be quite disheartening.
I like Fettercairn. You know I like Fettercairn, but I get you. You were used to the Fior and the Fask, which were a bit kind of...
They were rough.
I never got those whiskies. I was just after that when I started getting into whiskey. So 15 years old, 45%. Really light, approachable nose. Very fresh.
Quite sort of, fresh, almost like acetone a little bit.
Maybe a little bit grassy on the nose.
Again, that's very sort of generic Speyside single malt whiskey.
Yeah, it is, Maybe, again, kind of apples and pears, very optimistically, but not as, it's not incredibly sweet.
No surprise, I don't think. There is maybe that slight dustiness that you can get with, bottles that have been in glass for 30 plus years.
But it doesn't have the nose of something that's cask-led, not something that's particularly active, which again, kind of, we can't see this fits into what Tamnavulin is nowadays because they are very cask-led. So let's have a little taste and see what you think, but I think it's going to be fairly safe.
Yeah, very pleasant, I think. Again, no surprises. The finish is... It's not super short.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of... It's there and it's sort of, skips around the palate a little bit. It's a pleasant dram. At
45%, it's got a bit of heat to it. Actually. So it's bottled at a strength that means that you could still add water to that, or you could still kind of play around with it. It's still got a little bit of kind of ethanol spice to it, a bit of alcohol prickle. But as I can imagine, I can see why this would be popular when it was first getting exported into Europe.
Yeah.
I can see why. Also, as somebody with the prestige of Moon Import, were the official bottlers for them at the time, it kind of probably gave it a little bit of prestige and kind of maybe raised the reputation of the distillery without it necessarily needing to deserve it.
But But it's a lovely dram.
It's really pleasant.
I think 15 years, you know, in this day and age, that's quite a long maturation.
Yeah.
As we say, we probably guess there's not hugely active casks going on here. I wouldn't guess it is 15 plus years tasting it blind.
No, I'm with you there.
But it's, you know, it's fresh and it's fun and it's inoffensive.
It's a summertime dram.
Yeah.
Or medium anytime in Italy, I suppose. Yeah, it is light and fresh and approachable. So
yeah, I think it's good quality spirit. Not a life-changing whiskey, but there's absolutely nothing wrong at all. So 6 or 7 out of 10 in my book.
Yeah, I think as I say, it's a safe. It'd be a house dram here.
Yeah, I think nowadays people are getting, you know, that supermarket availability. They are getting a lot more into Tamnavulin. So obviously, I think everybody's watching along at home and they've got really strong opinions. You know, let's hopefully they'll get in touch and tell us what they think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for me, I'm not converted. I think it's quite a forgettable distillery,
I think for the value of these moon imports on the secondary market,
yeah,
somebody has to open them and taste them, which is what we're here to do.
It's a burden that we have to bear.
But it's quite an expensive bottle to crack open for a fairly plain, easygoing Speyside whiskey. Nice to try though.
I know. Cheers.
Cheers.
If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Bevvy content. We want to hear what you think, your best whiskey experiences, the whiskies you want to try. It's a really exciting journey we're on, so make sure to join us. Download the Bevvy app on Google Play and App Store to keep track of your whiskey journey, connect with your whiskey friends, keep track of your favourites, anything you could ever want to do with whiskey, all in one place. It's the definitive whiskey companion.